Hello, everyone. We are playing a game on Fox again, and we're getting very, very close to double ranking up to 1Q. So let's get this going.
Start to play.
All right, so we have a game here. Looks like I am white, and I'm just going to play normal today, I think. Simple and normal. So 1 4 4 1 3 4. They're doing 2 4 4s. Oh, and the high approach. So they want to influence here. I'm just going to attach underneath and be happy with that. Looks like my opponent is also someone who is ranking up. They have a small amount of games. So far, 5 wins at 3Q. Pretty good. I don't like to respond to this move directly, but maybe we can take this approach here at R14. I think I'm preferring the approach versus taking the 3-3 directly lately. It seems the 3-3 directly is a little bit more difficult to use. So what I like to do is I like to do this bump here when they attach, because there is this cutting point. When they pull back, I just Atari. And then I can Hane underneath and Sente, saving the corner. And it's very difficult for them to find the right move to secure this area. Even with one move here, I can still come out at F15. So they want to do this one instead. And this one is not very good because I can just cut here directly. And it's very tempting to do that right now. But since it still takes them one more move to secure that area, I'm actually going to enclose the bottom left to prevent him from approaching. Since he has this nice influence, it's sort of facing this corner. So I want to prevent that from expanding. I could have played a large knight to prevent the shoulder hit, but I'm not too worried about the shoulder hit. Now he wants to just build that top area, but now I can just cut here and extend, and it's difficult for him. So we probably want Sente here. So I'm going to Hane and play this diagonal move at S15. He could Tanuki now, but I can get a little bit more out of the corner. If he responds in the corner, then I can Tanuki because this cutting point doesn't work. But if he does this one, I can do the wedge first. And when he Ataris, I just connect, and now he has a bunch of cutting points everywhere. Because he has this weakness on the other side, yeah, he probably wanted to connect in the corner instead. Now there is a little bit of Aji, but I'm just going to break up the top side. And I could do the cut that I was talking about earlier. He could capture, I capture, and then he doesn't really have a lot on the top. Or I could split. But I think I'm just going to cut like I was saying earlier. Nice and simple move. I don't have to worry about too much extra here. And if he wants to crawl on the first line all the way, that's perfectly acceptable for me. Because this is just breaking up this area. So I think I will just capture directly. Get rid of any sort of potential use there. Oh, The cutting point now works. So I guess he wanted to defend that push there. But he can't really build too much on the top anymore. And after I protect my cutting point, my group is very, very strong. It's really difficult to attack it. Because I can come out towards the center very easily, or I can continue to make a base on the side. So I don't like this sort of move. I think if you wanted to protect the cutting point, you should have maybe tried to come from the other side first, and then when I try to come out towards the center, he can then protect. So he really wants to still try and build this area here. Okay. I don't know if I care too much. Maybe I do. If he gets one more move here and he blocks, then it becomes very large. So I could try to do a move like this one. He blocks me from connecting up, then I make a base if I really want to disrupt this. Or I could just Tanuki and play somewhere else. I think I'll just push here at H18. This is already sort of reducing a lot of this. And I want to see what he plays. If he's just going to back off, then I will also just back off here. Not continue to play on the top and move to a bigger place here. Like this one, where I can build something of my own, or I could take his corner directly. I think in this case, it probably doesn't matter. It's a personal preference. I think I don't want to give him a lot of extra influence on purpose, so I'm just going to approach instead. He already has a lot of influence here, so I think this will be a way to simplify. But he does want to force influence towards the bottom side. I could jump out, but jumping out definitely involves me fighting against this stone because the press down move is no longer really that good to play. It's never really been that great, but I don't really need to gain all that influence. If I jump here, I'm definitely going to be pincering this stone. The other option is to just do a double approach. I guess we should try to fight a little bit here. I should have enough strength on both sides for this to work. So let's do that. As I said, you do not want to do the press down anymore. The pincer is the new correct move here. I can just extend down. I don't really want him to come over the top of my stone, so I want to jump here. But if he attaches over the top, that does become a little bit annoying. So I guess I should jump up at least one time here. Prevent him from getting more influence to that center area. I think this is slightly the wrong direction. As I said, I was expecting him to sort of turn over the top of my stone here, just to get some strength for this group. But in this case, I can kick this stone. And if he just extends up, or he does that one doesn't change too much what I'm doing. I can still separate the stones with this diagonal here, and just sort of come out towards the center and make some strength for my group. Okay, we can slowly sort of surround this. Always stay connected, stay strong. And we definitely need to hane over the top. This is sort of a common shape here, right? You hane here, they can't really hane on this side because you can cut them directly. And it looks like the cut unlikely to be captured. So they likely have to do the empty triangle, but then you can play the knight's move here.
8, 7.
So let's see what he does. Now the knight's move is a good strong move to potentially surround the group, but it will depend a little bit on if this cutting point matters. And it looks like if I need to, I can probably connect up underneath. I may have to make a bad exchange here.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Sure, let's just surround
3.
the group first. See what he decides to do. So this is a good sort of asking move against my stones. If I connect here solidly, then he
9,
can either push
8,
through and cut this
7,
stone off,
6,
or he can
5,
peep here.
4, 3.
And I think that's
2.
acceptable. I will just connect. Oh, he's just going to cut the stone off. That seems a little bit questionable. I was expecting him to peep there to try to escape instead, but just cutting the stone, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure what he's really trying to do here. Looks like I can just block this directly and this is fine. So he's trying to just live directly instead of escaping. Okay. Just connect. Just connect. He doesn't really have that many liberties here. Oh, wow. So looks like I can get this move here in Sente. Because I can capture his stones. So looks like I just connect here, which is putting him in Atari, and then I can squeeze through. Let's see, does the squeeze work? I do this move, he Ataris, I Atari, he captures, I Atari, he connects, I connect, and he doesn't really have that many liberties. So it looks like that's good enough for me. And I don't have to Atari first. I could connect first. If he extends down, then I can Atari and come down, and he has 3 liberties, so that would be okay for me. But I think just Atari is fine to make it simpler for me. He can capture these 2 stones, but I captured something that was much too good, and he still actually isn't capturing these stones yet because I can connect underneath. And there's also Aji in the corner here, but these stones are basically dead. So what we want to do is we probably want to capture these stones, or at least force him to run out.
9,
He
8,
has a move in the corner
7,
here to potentially
4,
live.
3,
So I think I want to
2,
play on
1.
this side, which prevents him from getting a cutting point here. And we can just, yeah, we can just play the knight's move and surround him. This area is extremely strong. It's almost impossible for him to, I mean, not almost impossible. It is impossible for him to attack this. So I can for sure just surround his group.
Yoyomi now starts.
His Hane can be cut directly, and I can probably double Hane over the top as well, because he would still be behind my line of stones. So he's just going to go to live directly. That should be fine. So I could push through, or I could just connect. I think I like just this connection here. Gets rid of all my outside Aji. That was on the left side here. And he still has to go back and live somehow. So he can probably live with this move. But he doesn't want to. Let's just poke at him. See what he does. He can just live directly, I think. So now we can just play on the top somewhere. Or we can take his corner.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
But I think the top
4,
is
3, 2.
a bit more interesting right now, because that's where he can make the most amount of points. His corner is pretty set in stone. He can only really do this area here, whereas the top he can sort of expand still. And he does have this cutting point here, so it's very tempting to jump over to this side to expose the cutting point, not actually to make the base here. So if he does try to kill my base, I just need to maintain some strength so I can try to do this cut. I guess we can just stay connected. That seems fine. He wants to block me off from the center here, except he's not doing it, which is cool. He wants to just cut off one side, is my guess now. Because if he cuts here and I capture the stone, it looks like I could potentially cut him back. I definitely don't mind connecting. It feels like he's maybe trying to go all out to kill me now. I'm not exactly sure. His moves here are a little bit confusing, because I can probably just push here and then cut, or come over here as well. So let's push here first and see what he does. Okay. Let's cut. And we can just Hane. Because this group is not alive. We can make a little bit more eye shape for ourselves if we need to. We can jump here. So this is a Ko shape, I think. So let's jump here. Just sort of expose his weakness here. I think he should actually be fine. It looks like he could just surround, maybe. Push and surround. Well, I guess these
9,
stones are a little bit
8,
awkward.
7, 6.
Just push through. This seems questionable. He doesn't have enough liberties here, so he can't quite push and cut me. He needs to come out. Then I can push again. And he needs to come out again. And then I can connect. Oh, looks like I don't even need to do anything, so I can just turn. Because he still can't cut me, because that would be a self-Atari. Makes it a little bit easier for me. And just protect my groups, since it should be fine. He actually has some pretty good judgment. However, maybe it's his reading that's just not quite good enough. Not quite, not quite enough to maybe push him into the Dawn ranks. I'm not sure. So there is this cutting point here now. Threatening to capture a lot of stuff. But it looks like I could also just surround this this group too.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's just push here and see what we get. I do have a little bit of cutting Aji, but he has very, very short liberties. So he needs to be very careful. This is why I'm not too worried about this. So we want to just throw in here, threatening to capture the stones, because he's threatening to capture me. And then we can Atari his group. And then we can just connect here, or play here, or here. Sort of any of these moves work, but I'll just connect here. I think that's the simpler move. And now this group should just be gone. So maybe he just needs to pay more attention to his liberties. The same sort of thing happened when I captured this big group in the center. It seems like the same exact mistake as before. Let me see. Oh, good. He resigned. Okay. So he was actually a pretty good player. And as I said, he's been winning a lot of his games. He was like 56 to like 8 losses or something. So it's not really that many. Yeah, I think definitely at least one Don. But as you saw in this game, he has a little bit of a problem counting liberties or paying attention to those. So if we go back to the beginning of the game here, and we just look at the position before. Actually, I should mention this real quick. Here, you should at least protect on the top side. This move is annoying, and you do have to play one more move to defend against it. But as it currently stands, there's no way for this group in the center to really attack anything very severely. It's likely that I would have to move out towards the center, and in this case, black would be getting points on either side. Yeah, instead of worrying about this cutting stone right now, you want to worry about this cutting stone in the future. So you could play moves to protect these sides before I'm able to run that stone out. All right, so on the bottom here, when I play this sort of shape defending move, I wasn't sure if this was the right move necessarily. I think actually here, what I should be doing is this connection, just to be a lot stronger against these two stones. But I kind of it just felt like this was a nice shape to have. And this, as I said, is a common sort of technique here with this empty triangle. I'm able to do this knight's move because he can't push and cut because of this tiger's mouth shape here. Makes it a lot more difficult. Now, in the game, of course, he ended up running out of liberties trying to live here. He did this peep. I connected here, and then he pushed through and played some awkward shapes here, which just sort of lost his own liberties. So it's not really a good idea to push through here. But if you wanted to try to use this stone as a way to play this peep, I don't have to connect, but I could probably connect. Then he could turn and play this sort of move to get out towards the center. And I have cutting points and a weak group on this side. This is fine for me because his group is also weak. I do have to worry a little bit about my cutting point on the other side, but I can connect up to my other group if I really need to. It's just going to be a sort of a complicated fight. But instead, he played moves to reduce his own liberties here. Even though he's trying to surround me and sort of kill me, just by playing this one move, you see that he has almost no liberties on this group. But he played an even worse move, which was this one, allowing me to get the Atari here. He can't give up this Atari. And then I can just squeeze. And in the game, I played the Atari, but I could also just block directly. And I very, very likely have more liberties than he does. So it seemed like he did the similar thing on the top here. If we go all the way to the end, like here, he is running out of liberties with his group. And so, for example, this move already, there's not really a way for me to run in this direction very strongly. But if he wanted to prevent me from running in that direction, he could at least extend here, which would be a better shape for the outside. And then also, he could just do this tiger's mouth. After this tiger's mouth, it sort of defends all of the shape here. And if I try to run this way, if he really wants to, he could play this move, which sort of connects everything up nicely. It's similar shape that I played on the other side with that knight's move on the bottom. in that he can't, no, I can't really cut because his stones are basically protected everywhere. So something like this would be more annoying for me to have to deal with, though his group is not alive, so he has to worry about that. He should not have let me cut here, basically. Cut here was a little bit more risky, but he definitely should not have let me do that. However, in the game, because he played the Hane, this at least leaves cutting points. And then, of course, like what happened in the game, was I was able to come out on the other side as well. I just needed a little bit more strength if I wanted to try to fight the Ko in this corner. I can show you the Ko, I guess, real quick. That would be this move here. Because this one I can connect, he has to connect, and then we can play a Ko. This connection here for me means that it's also likely that I can just live with my group directly. If I don't play the Ko and I do a move like this, I'm very, very close to alive. So threaten to connect up underneath, he blocks, and I'm alive. Because 3 here is Sente. So there's too much weakness here for me to probably die. It's possible, but it's less likely I can die here. He already has sort of bad shape here, so it's a little bit difficult to handle. But he can't push and cut because there's just a ladder this direction. And I can capture these 4 stones, which is probably a little bit bigger than capturing these in a ladder, because these are probably just dead anyway, because my group's too strong in the center. Because he can't cut, he needs to try to come out on the other side, but then I can just push here, threatening to capture their stones, right? So that doesn't work, which means he has to push on this side, but that doesn't work. It's sort of squeezing me out towards the center. And he can't really ever cut because he has not enough liberties. I'm not even sure how he can defend at this point after I play this move. He could try to run out, but then he still can't cut me, so I can also run out. If he protects, the cut is still questionable, sadly. So he has to connect solidly to threaten the cut. But I can probably just do this because there's not enough liberties. Again, liberties are very, very important. Always very important to think about them in your game, which is one reason why you don't want to let your opponent cut through your shape, and why you want to play extension moves often instead of these Hanes, or you want to protect the side with the most weaknesses. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are having a good day. Have fun.